I want to take a brief moment here to apologize to Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. I am sorry. I doubted you. I disrespected you. I said you were no good. I said you had no chance to beat Real Madrid, and I was wrong. I'm sorry, Mikel Arteta. I'm sorry, Arsenal players. I'm sorry, Arsenal fans that, were mad at me because I always talk shit about their team. I was wrong. I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong, and I'm doing it now. So, sorry to Mikel Arteta. Sorry to Arsenal. And also, thank you to Mikel Arteta and thank you to Arsenal because they just gave me one of the best hate watches I've ever had in my life. That's one of the best feelings ever, man. Honestly, it's one of the best feelings ever. I don't know what it feels like to win the lottery. I promise you, this feels better than winning the lottery. This feels better. Arsenal defeat Real Madrid 3-0 at the Emirates in the first leg of the UCL quarterfinal. The tie is of course not over, but man, I don't see this Madrid team coming back in that second leg. And I understand the second leg is at the Bernabeu, and we know Madrid in the UCL, it's like anything can happen. But oh my God, from what I saw today, there's no fucking way that Madrid team does anything in that second leg. I don't care where they're playing. They could double the capacity of the Bernabeu, allow every single Madrid fan on earth to go to the stadium for that game, and I don't think it would change anything. And again, I could be, like, maybe this comes back to bite me in the ass if Madrid come back and win in the second leg, like if they pull a Liverpool against Barca. I don't even know why I brought that up. It breaks my heart still, but maybe they do that, you know what I mean? Maybe they score 4 goals. But again, I don't see it happening. And this game, man, it's a huge indictment on Real Madrid, and it's a huge indictment on the coach, Carlo Ancelotti. This Madrid team, as we know, has not been great throughout the whole season, but they've been squeaking by. They've been getting wins. They're still in the title race for La Liga. They're in the Copa del Rey final. They made it this far into the UCL. We're favorites against Arsenal, but we all knew, if you've watched Madrid at all this season, which I'm sure most of you guys watching this video have watched, Madrid at some point. A lot of you guys are Madrid fans that are watching this video, and even Barca fans. We watch Madrid a lot because we're always competing with them. Nobody ever thought this Madrid team was that good, but again, they kept getting results, and that's what was saving Carlo Ancelotti. But after this, I was not mad at Madrid fans, but I was like, why are you guys always shitting on Carlo? This guy literally won your UCL less than a year ago, and he had one of the best seasons, a club team has had in recent history. Madrid last season only lost 2 games, and they were dealing with so many injuries, but you can't defend that. Nobody can defend that. Even the biggest Carlo Ancelotti lover cannot defend what the fuck just happened today. Arsenal, or honestly, man, I don't want to keep disrespecting them because I already apologized to them. Man, they're injured as fuck. They're so injured, man. They have so many injuries, and they suffered more today. Bukayo Saka went off injured. Declan Rice, who we'll talk about obviously later in this video, got injured. Timber went off injured. They're missing Calafiori. They're missing Havertz. They're missing Gabriel Jesus. They're missing so many players, man. They're missing Gabriel. Obviously, is out for the season with the injury that he suffered. Tomiyasu's out, and you lose 3-0. In the first half, I thought Arsenal started off better. Now that we're actually getting into the game, I thought Arsenal started off better in that first half, but then Madrid kind of, started getting some momentum. The biggest chance to me in that first half, one of them was from Arsenal, one of them was from Real Madrid. Both teams had one fairly big chance. Real Madrid, Mbappe was basically one-on-one with the keeper and shot it right at David Raya, which, I don't understand that. Mbappe's been so wasteful with his finishing. He was the same way against Valencia, man. So many chances, and he keeps shooting it right at the keeper. I don't know what happened to Kylian Mbappe, but again, that first half, he was looking to do something. He had the first shot on goal like a minute into the game. I thought Mbappe was actually trying to do stuff, but, it just wasn't working for him. And, it's weird to see because we know Mbappe in the UCL, he kind of always comes through, but today, he just couldn't get a goal. And again, like I said, that one chance that he had, shot it right at David Raya. And then obviously, Declan Rice had a chance as well where he headed it, and Courtois made a great save. But yeah, that was to me the 2 biggest chances of the first half. And then Courtois actually, after he made that save, he also made another save on Martinelli right after that. He made a double save, which, Courtois today was insane. And then that second half, man, Real Madrid just got smoked. That was a masterclass. I don't know what Mikel Arteta said to his players at halftime, but he just, oh my God, man. He made Ancelotti look like a JV coach. He made Ancelotti look like a JV coach. And Carlo Ancelotti, as we know, has, he's won so many UCLs. He's the all-time winner in this competition. Mikel Arteta has never even made a semifinal of the UCL, and he completely schooled Carlo Ancelotti in that second half. Let's talk about the goals, because we got to talk about Declan Rice and what he did today. I'm speechless from what I saw from Declan Rice. Genuinely, I'm speechless. We all know how good he is. He's one of the best midfielders in the world, and he has been for quite some time now. And we all know he's got a good shot on him. I remember watching him a couple years ago when he was still at West Ham. I remember this game like it was yesterday. He scored an insane curler against Nottingham Forest. If you guys are West Ham fans and you remember that goal, he scored it at the Olympic Stadium, at West Ham Stadium. He scored this crazy curler. So we all know, we've seen Declan Rice scores some beautiful goals from outside of the box. He has a good shot on him. But today he turned into prime Messi meets James Ward-Prowse meets Roberto Carlos meets, I don't know, pick your favorite free kick taker ever. I mean, morph them all together, make it into a baby, and, it's Declan Rice today. That first free kick was insane. The curve on that ball is crazy. And that second one was even better, actually. I actually think the second one was better. But the first one was ridiculous, man. The curve on that ball, he just bends it perfectly around the wall. And if Thibaut Courtois can't save that today, on the form that he was today, no keeper on earth is saving that. And no keeper on earth is saving that second one, man. That second goal was insane, bro. What a goal. Like, I don't even know what to say. And then after that, Arsenal had another chance where Courtois made like 5 saves. Like, I mean, it was crazy. Courtois today really bailed out Real Madrid. But again, he can't do anything about those 2 free kicks because they're 2 of the best free kicks I've ever seen. And shout out to Declan Rice, man. What a performance. That must be insane. That feeling that he must have had when he scored that second goal. I mean, even Martin Odegaard, if you guys go see the reaction, he just puts his hands in his head. He can't believe it either. Nobody could believe it. When he scored the first one, I was like, okay. Every beginner's luck, I guess. And then he scores the second one, and I was like, what the fuck am I watching right now? How is Declan Rice doing this? But again, I kind of knew he had that in his arsenal, no pun intended, but I didn't know that he was gonna reach for it in this game, man. That was insane. And yeah, then after that, Arsenal started putting on the pressure and trying to get a third goal, and Courtois was making so many huge saves. Alaba had a chance where he cleared it off the line, which, Alaba today, in my opinion, wasn't great, but he had that one time where he cleared it off the line, which was a big moment for him. Also, Declan Rice almost had a hat-trick too, because in the second half, he could have had a hat-trick with the header that Courtois made a save on in the first half, like I mentioned, but then in the second half, after he scored the 2 goals, he had another chance where Jude Bellingham clears it off the line. That ball had already been Courtois, so if Jude Bellingham's not there, he's getting a hat-trick, but Jude Bellingham makes a huge save off the line to obviously save Madrid in that moment, but then Arsenal went on and got a third goal anyway. It was a beautiful play. Trossard gets the ball out wide, cuts it back into Luis Skelly, and then Luis Skelly finds Mikel Merino. Mikel Merino, who was a center mid playing at striker, is finishing that. I mean, I don't even know. I never thought I would see the day Mikel Merino scores in a UCL game for Arsenal against Real Madrid. I never thought I would see the day. And, for me, I want to talk about Madrid now because Arsenal were amazing. And like I said, that second leg, they are the heavy favorites to win that second leg. It's going to take a collapse, an absolute collapse, for them to throw that away. And again, I don't want to disrespect Real Madrid or downplay them because we know in this competition, we know how good they are and the damage they can do on any given day. Okay, and they still have that talent on the pitch. And maybe they sack Carlo before that second leg and they have this new manager talks. But again, if Arsenal somehow choke this, it'll be very disappointing, but I don't think they will. So Arsenal to me was amazing. Mikel Arteta, props to you. Bukayo Saka, I think, was really, really good today. I thought overall their team played great. Odegaard had a really, really good game. Their midfield was just amazing in my opinion. Their back line just played some great ball. Raya made some huge saves when he needed to. I thought Arsenal played great. Now let's talk about Real Madrid, because this Madrid team is so uninspiring to watch. And as a Barca fan, as a rival fan, I love it. But at the same time, it puzzles me, man, because I don't understand how this team has been so shit throughout the whole season. And again, they're getting by based off quality, but it's just hoofing the ball up the pitch, man. It's hoofing the ball up the pitch. That's their whole attacking game plan, is hoof the ball up the pitch and hope something happens. And most of the time, it doesn't work. If Vinicius Jr. isn't playing well, which he hasn't been for, the past 4 months, Vinicius Jr. today, let's talk about Vini. Oh my God, I'm a Vini defender. Like, for a Barca fan, I actually defend Vini. I think he's a great player. And, like, these couple bad months that he's had is not moving me off that, okay? He's still, to me, an amazing player. And I still think he has that ability to be that player that we know he can be. I don't think he's going to be this shit for the rest of his career. But he was so bad today, man. He could not make a single right pass. He was honestly terrible. His passing, his decision-making, he was selfish at times. It was just awful from Vini, which we know Vinicius Jr. is a guy who, say what you want about him, in the UCL and the knockout rounds, he always shows up, and he has for his whole career. I keep saying it, but I'm going to say it again. Has already scored in 2 UCL finals, Vinicius Jr. has. And to see this, I mean, he wasn't good against Atletico. He was good against City, but it wasn't amazing. I honestly don't know what happened to Vini. I don't know what happened to him because, again, this competition and these rounds of the UCL, this is where he shines. This is where he's made his legacy up until this point. I mean, he's one of the best UCL players of this generation already, and he's so young. But he was shit today. Mbappe had a couple chances, he missed them, and for the most part, to me, he was really nowhere to be found. Honestly, I think Mbappe was the best of the 3 attackers today, but that's not really saying much because 2 of them completely disappeared. Rodrigo on the right-hand side was lost out there. He did nothing out there. Did nothing today. Madrid's midfield, I mean, Jude, it's weird with Jude, man, because he tries. He played a great... He's the one that actually played that ball to Mbappe in the first half that Mbappe missed, that one clear chance that Madrid had where Raya saved it. He wins the ball back in that instance, and he plays that ball behind. So Jude was trying to do stuff, man. He was trying to get shit going, but... It's just like this system just, I don't know, it doesn't work, man. Luka Modric is 40 years old, and while, yes, he can still provide quality here and there, he's playing 71 minutes for this team, which, again, is another thing that I want to talk about. How are you making subs? You were losing 2-0, and you're making your first sub in the 70th minute. Like, you have Arda Güler on the bench. You don't play the kid. He's amazing. We all know he's amazing. If you watch any second of Arda Güler in his career, you know he has the individual quality to turn a game around. Endrick can do something. Bring him into the game. Vinicius Jr. had no business playing that much today. He had no business playing that much. Ancelotti sits on his hands for far too long. He sits on his hands for far too long. I'm watching this game. Arsenal are up 3-0. And Madrid's game plan is still hoofing the ball up the pitch in added time. That's still your game plan, is hoofing the ball up the pitch. I thought Asensio actually had a decent game today. One of the few Madrid players that can actually walk out of this game with his head held high. Even though they conceded 3 goals, none of them were his fault, really. I mean, the 2 free kick goals, what can you even do about that? Alaba was atrocious, man. And yeah, I don't know. With Madrid, you look at a guy like Carlo Ancelotti, who's so decorated as a manager, but clearly his players are not responding to his message anymore. They're not resonating with the message that he's throwing out there. Okay? He's vocalizing something, and they might hear it, but it goes in one ear and out the other. And we see it because Camavinga got sent off, which I don't know what the fuck that was about, but he was going to miss the next game anyway, but he got sent off. Out of frustration, I'm guessing. When he walked off the pitch, he didn't even look at Carlo Ancelotti. Didn't even look at him, man. They didn't look at him. That should tell you a lot about how these players feel about that manager right now. And if Madrid want to turn around the season because they still have the quality to do so, they should fire Ancelotti today. Because Florentino Perez has been president for a long time. Okay, he's been a Madrid president. He's been the Madrid president for a long time, and he's been there for the best days. And looking at that, there's no way he's happy looking at that. And Carlo Ancelotti, I'm not a Madrid fan, so again, take this with a grain of salt if you want, Madrid fans. I don't know how you guys feel. It's just my personal opinion. This is a guy who won you the UCL back in 2014 La Decima. He won you the UCL in 2021 in Paris. He won you the UCL last year. He's won 3 UCLs for Real Madrid. Okay? 3 UCLs for the club. You could argue he's the greatest ever manager, Carlo Ancelotti. And Madrid, as we know, 15 UCLs, arguably the greatest club in the history of the sport. This season, he might be tarnishing his Real Madrid legacy with the performances that this team is putting out there. Because that team is too good to be playing that shit. Again, Arsenal, man. Arsenal have had 9 games this season where they failed to score a goal. 9 games this season where they failed to score a goal. And they're putting 3 past Real Madrid. They're putting 3 past Real Madrid. I just don't know what to say. One of the craziest things I've ever seen. I'm looking at my notes here to see if the... Yeah, I'm just like, look at the notes that I put in. Like I said, Madrid attack second half terrible. Madrid making subs too late. No attacking game plan from Madrid. These are my notes, man. Like this is what I write down in the game, so I can kind of hit the points that I want to hit in these videos. It's crazy. But yeah, shout out to Declan Rice, man. What a performance today. I mean, to do that, Steven Gerrard-esque, honestly. And Steven Gerrard never did anything like that. That was insane, man. Declan Rice, shout out to him. I love this man, bro. He's just become my favorite midfielder that doesn't play for my club, Declan Rice, for what he did today. Mikel Merino, the fact that he outperformed, he scored more goals than Kylian Mbappe in a UCL quarterfinal game is crazy. It feels like I'm living in a fucking simulation, but that actually happened. Arsenal beating Real Madrid in the UCL with all these injuries and everybody doubting them. AFTV is going to go crazy today. But yeah, man, I want to apologize to Arsenal. I want to apologize to their fans. I want to apologize to Mikel Arteta. I hope one day we can share a coffee together, my man, and just talk about how amazing he did today. But yeah, I cannot believe what I saw. Again, I'm not counting out Real Madrid in that second leg because that team, you still have to respect them for what they've done in that competition and their pedigree. And we know that Arsenal have the bottler gene in them. Bottler. Yeah, we know Arsenal can choke, is my point. I mean, they choked a 12-point league to Man City a couple years back. Arsenal are prone to choking, okay? Okay, they are definitely prone to choking, but I have little to no faith in this Madrid team to actually do something. Because if Carlos stays, that team might just quit that second leg to prove a point. They might actually just quit in that second leg to prove a point to Florentino Perez and the board at Madrid that, hey man, this guy's not good enough, and until he leaves, we're not going to try. Which to me would be wrong because you still have fans that are paying for tickets and a season that you can still get a lot out of. I mean, if Madrid somehow, like they're still on course for trouble. It's probably done now, but theoretically they're still on course for trouble. But again, I don't know how the second leg is gonna go. We'll obviously find out together when that game happens because I don't have a time machine. I can't go to the future and see what happens beforehand, but we'll find out together. And yeah, man, you guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Tomorrow is my main course. Of course, Barca plays tomorrow. Also, Inter and Bayern played. A quick recap of that game, like a minute, because I was watching them both simultaneously, because I care a lot about that game as well, because Barca are going to play the winner of that game. That first goal from Lautaro Martinez, it was like Ricardo Quaresma-esque. I mean, that little back heel from Turan, the setup for that goal was beautiful from Inter. And then obviously Lautaro with a beautiful outside the boot finish. What a goal. Lautaro Martinez, man, what an underrated player he is. What an amazing striker. And then Thomas Muller, who is about to leave Bayern Munich, comes into the game in the second half and scores a goal. And then it's 1-1. And then Fratesi scores a couple minutes after that to make it 2-1. And now Inter are going into the second leg in the San Siro with a 2-1 lead. Do I want to see Inter? Do I want to see Bayern? I'd rather see Bayern than Inter, because Bayern are so injured right now, and we already beat them this season. I think we have the psychological edge over them, and Inter are just a really, really good team. I would rather see Bayern win, but man, Inter played a great game. So yeah, that's my recap of Bayern Inter. Most of my attention was focused on the Madrid game, but I did kind of see that game in passing, so I want to give you guys my thoughts on that. And yeah, man, I love every single one of you, Madrid fans. Keep your head up or don't. Honestly, I don't know what to tell you guys, man. It must suck seeing my face right now. I'm smiling, I'm happy, but the hate watch was just too good, man. The hate watch was too good. And tomorrow if Barca win, bro. Tomorrow if Barca win. Amazing. But yeah, guys, I love you, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.